Well, with the
Well, you
policing
know,
community
for
part, I think.
oh, I'm
I'm
sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just saying that most of the police officers don't live in the community. That's the
Mm.
problem. You know,
Yeah,
they
that's
live
huge
30,
problem.
40 miles out, and they come in and they do their dirt where they work, and then they go back to their, you know, nest, and it's all nice and clean, and they leave ours dirty. So that's a huge problem right there.
Mm.
You think I honestly see that as a common denominator in numerous departments, Minnesota, Milwaukee. I mean, we could go down a list, but absolutely,
Yes,
L.A.,
sir.
Oakland, yeah, New York, and no, you're absolutely right. And another thing is,
Is Robert breaking up to you there?
Yeah, he
oh, okay,
froze.
there we go. I'm not sure what. Let me just make sure this ain't fro. I can't be having fro. Okay, there we go. All right.
You're
I
a little
noticed that, like
blurry
when I
too.
went to New York, uh,
You're blurry,
huh? Okay, I look good on my
but your
end.
Wi-Fi's not kicking in.
Yeah, I resecured it. It started to tweak and before it like totally went kaputs.
Okay.
But I noticed when I went to New York, right? One thing that they do is that a lot of cops actually walk streets, like you know, and have a familiarity with the neighborhood. And I noticed that can make a big difference. You know, I
Mm.
noticed that's not available for every precinct and every situation. You know, if you live in the Midwest, you walk in a B, you walking blocks. I mean, their blocks are 2 or 3 miles long. It could be, you know, to the next house or something. But there is something to be said when the police reflect the community they're serving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did it
Your
feel as
camera's
far
out,
as
Robert.
my camera?
Is out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's out.
It says camera disabled due to slow internet.
Oh, that's interesting because it's
It
actually
says you're still recording. Yes.
yeah. Okay, so just keep it going because of the fact that on YouTube it shows me. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
yeah, I'm seeing it on YouTube. So
Okay.
anyway, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, clearly.
Now, okay. So as African American men, how did it feel to you when Buffalo actually occurred? Like, what was that kind of emotional reaction? What came to mind, Derek?
Um, well, it's here we go again. Here we go again. It's it's crazy when you see things like that. And then if you live in certain parts of the country, communities, you see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's almost like they'll push it, even though it needs to be seen. They'll push it to the point where it's like you're telling us, but please do something about it. There's something that needs to be done. So why can't anybody do anything about it? Um, and they have so many people out here that specialize in specific things like mental health, uh, behavior, uh, just the surrounding areas of things that just happen like that. That how is it possible that it could continue to happen without anybody doing something about it? Um, People keep talking about gun laws, and I'm my father, he owns a weapon, and he doesn't go out shooting people. So it's not guns that is a problem, it's the people that actually have the guns. And um, people that are obtaining those guns, they may have issues, like mental issues, but they can still think. They're not stupid people. They can go in and completely calm and then the next thing you know, they have a weapon, and then something happened to them, and then they flip a rail. So it's not just people having access to guns, and people having guns is supposed to people just everything that's going on, the confusion, like people you know are down and out, and wealth and things that go on a day-to-day life. uh, People tend to forget that people are just confused, and they're looking for a way to um, connect with people, and they can't connect with other people, so they feel ostracized and pushed out, and they're doing things, you know they don't know where to go. I'm not giving them any, I'm not
Excuse.
excusing anything like that, but like, people are hurting out there. People are doing things that they don't want to do. People are doing things that that's unbecoming of them, that they never even thought they would do. But I think it should be just more people just talking to each other, and then connecting. That's why I talk about community, because community, um, and family, especially in small groups, is helpful for people.
Absolutely. I think that my me personally, I think that society likes to coddle certain kind of provocateurs,
Hmm.
when it comes to a certain sect, it's mental illness all of a sudden. Oh, there must be something wrong at the house. He needs a hug. Let's do a research. Let's pray for him. And I'll be quite honest. I think black people should stop saying that kind of shit. I think they
Hmm.
should. I think it's happened too many times where you got to look at the other side of the fence here and be like, look, white folks, your white kids, they're learning some sort of like this is okay to react to the ills of the woes of their life at 18 years old. You know, means he planned it.
Hmm.
These kids planned it. They did the church. They planned it. He methodically went and scoped the scene and talked to the people. Look where security is. This was a strategic plan. There is no way he deserves coddling, a bottle of water, and I don't know how the hell he doesn't get shot. But nonetheless, that's a conversation for later. But I honestly think black people should just be like, they should be asking the question, why should we trust you? Because turning the other cheek, I don't see how it has gotten us completely super far. Does that make sense? And it's not us walking in and shooting up. Usually, when it's black on black violence, it's usually over economic reasons, drug dealing,
Hmm.
something like that nature,
And it's
right?
in a small community.
Yeah, me against this dude here,
Hmm.
maybe bystander gets hit, but it's usually one on one or some sort of situation like that, and over economic reasons, right? you know, money, trying to make money, a living.
Or
Um,
women.
yeah, but it's not because, oh my God, I got dumped. Now I'm gonna go shoot up every other drug dealer I see. Like it just doesn't. We don't. We could cope with woes. 400 years of slavery, I guess, made sure we are strong enough to cope with our own woes. And
Not even
one
that.
thing
It's
will.
random people. It's random people that they're shooting. Like, they
Well,
don't
that's
know
the
these
thing.
people.
Right after you clip your grandmother, I mean, damn, cold
Yeah.
blooded. So Fred, I mean, feel free to chime in, brother. I see you sitting there listening to me getting radical over here.
I was listening. Part of what you're saying about stopping the prayers and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a Christian, and coming from there, I mean, we're not necessarily fighting against flesh and blood, as the Bible says. We're fighting against evil and principalities and stuff like that. When we say principalities, it's evil thoughts, the devil, the spirit uh, of, of evilness, and um, to be honest, uh, I'm a lot of this is coming from, like you said, the coddling from let's just call it what it is, coddling from the white man, from listening to Trump, listening to Cruz, and nothing happening to like what's his name, Carthorne or whatever, the guy in the wheelchair who
Yep. Who's in the
takes a gun to
orgy
the
doing
air.
all?
How many of us could accidentally take a gun to the airport and walk away with nothing happening?
Mm.
You know, none of us could do that, but they get away with that. It's like there's that code that they have, where they don't fear of being shot, like you said. They don't fear. There was an incident, Derek, you might know about it, just recently in I believe it was either Fairfield or Sassoon,
Sacramento.
where no, where the cop um, they chased the guy into a home. The cop was
Mm.
stabbed several times,
Hmm.
and they never shot this guy. They had him cornered in the house. They never shot this guy. They ended up tasing him and cuffing him and sending him to jail. And the cop was stabbed several times. I'm like, where else does this
We
cop
will never get that chance to survive that.
never get that chance to survive?
I mean, we
And
rarely had a
so,
chance to sell a cigarette.
so the there's there's an inherent difference of that privilege that they say they don't have. There is definitely, that privilege. And like I said, being in law enforcement for 24 years, when I was working, I could truly say I didn't see it. It was like,
Really?
nah, really. It was like,
Wow.
nah, you guys you're seeing it the wrong way, and it's not like that, and blah blah blah. And
Mm.
my wife tells me all the time, you used to always make excuses why, something happens or whatever. And she says now it's so different listening to you talk and what have you. And I just think that there has to be a change. It's not, they keep talking about police need more training, police need more money to do this. There needs to be a complete restructuring of a lot of police departments. The sad thing is, nobody wants to be a police officer at this day and time,
Mm.
except for those that want to get in it for the power and those that want to get in to do their dirt.
Hmm.
Because I think another good conversation for us to have later, Robert, is uh, how many law enforcement officers are being arrested for child pornography, child
Mm.
molestation,
Mm.
Mm.
rape. There is a huge ring of that within law enforcement also. So that might be another topic. And once
And
again,
that's kept
it's
quiet.
it's been
Exactly.
put out there quite a bit lately,
Mm.
quite a bit.
Lately.
Last month there was a report that came out from January until last month. There were 54 officers arrested for child
Mm.
molestation. So
I was
those are the
just
ones that we
watching.
just
I'm sorry.
know about.
I was just watching a case with the it was with police and I think it was St. Louis, and they were taking there was a corrupt detective or something like that, and he
Yeah,
was like he was messing around with all these women on parole, etc., claiming I'm going to violate you and this and the third, and getting head from them and everything. It was total.
it
Yeah,
was
that
not
dude
just
was
the parole. It was anybody that you wanted to, if you want to get out of this, this is what you need to do.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah,
And it's that whole power thing of having that gun and badge, and you need to bow down to me.
and
And
so you're thinking that kind of mentality bleeds off when it comes to how they, because I noticed that let's talk about this. Let's talk about how media perceives these cases of violence and mass shootings and everything. Because what I notice is like, like I'm not sure if you saw this meme. I'm gonna try to show you on my camera here. You've seen this one?
yeah, I did see that one.
It's like all the white people on this meme is heavily armed and arrested, and everybody else is unarmed and murdered, and they're all black. So I think media has a huge role in terms of how they portray us day to day. And then when things like this happen, it's almost as if that's why the first thing I tend to hear is victim blaming. What did you do?
Mhm.
Why'd you resist? What'd you do wrong?
Right.
No. And then when it comes to when it, these these are strategic murderers. They planned this. They went out and bought the gun. Okay, isn't that Fred, with your law enforcement background, that's premeditated, is it not?
Definitely.
When I when I go buy the gun, a Buffalo
For that
case, not
for that specific purpose.
specific purpose, just like the kids. He bought two 15, whatever the fuck,
AR-15
AR-15s and a
and
handgun.
300 rounds.
No, he had 15. It was like 1,500, bro. Because he did about 300 as soon as he got toward the school, and then he did another several hundred inside. He was armed to the teeth. Might I add, absolutely legal. Before he could even buy you or I a drink, he could buy all this heavy weaponry that the cops were afraid to walk in on, and
Right.
and then yet he walks away complete. Um, wait, they killed him in this case, obviously, but I mean, there's a good chance they won't kill him if they don't have to,
Right.
and that boggles my
Yeah.
mind. But yet African Americans unarmed get snuffed out. So clearly, media has a role. I mean, what do you think about the media's impact when it comes to coverage?
To me, the media plays to. I'm not a fan of the media when it comes to this. First of all, the
Mhm.
media plays um, to an audience of fear. They want to.
Mhm.
They these reporters get on here and they talk about these weapons of mass destruction. And it's a 223 rounds. You know that goes through this and that. And these people know absolutely nothing about firearms. And
Mhm.
it just makes people when they hear, oh, it's a weapon of mass destruction. I can't go to Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop and buy a weapon of mass destruction. That's not what they sell at those places. Now, do
Mhm.
they sell high powered, high caliber, fast moving rounds? Yes, but those rounds can be used for a myriad of things. And uh, it's not the gun, it's not the ammo, it's the person behind it. And for the media to be in such an uproar, like to take away these guns or whatever, at this point, it's too late to take away this many. There's too many guns out there to be trying to take them away. So now, for someone, Derek, like you said, like your dad who has a weapon that haven't hurt anybody, but how is he going to protect his family if you want to start
He
taking
doesn't have it.
guns away
Mhm.
and these guys already have their guns? They already have,
Mhm.
these large caliber weapons or whatever. Like I said, the police were afraid to go in because they were undergunned. So now you want to start taking away everyone else's weapons to protect themselves? And one other thing that I would like the media to ask this question: out of all these mass shootings, where are the police been? Why is there never a cop around when a mass shooting's going on? Never. No one,
There's
no
not
one's
enough
ever questioned
cops.
that.
There's
No
not
one's
enough
ever
cops in
questioned
the
that.
world. Yeah, there's not enough cops out
There's a
there to.
there's enough cops to stop you for having an air freshener in your windshield on
But
your
they
rear
looking
view
for you
mirror.
though. They looking for you.
Here's one of the things that I noticed too. A lot of these past horrendous situations, they televised it. They telegraphed it as well. They went on
Mhm.
Right.
Facebook or wherever they went on. Now, if I get
I don't know if that's necessary. The media doing that. There's
no,
some
I'm not talking about
themselves.
the media. I'm just saying
Oh,
when we're
okay.
talking about like how to prevent and police reaction, because it's reactionary, right? It's not we're talking about preventive. Um, social media, right? I I mean, that should have been a red flag. If I say, Fred, you're a fucking dick on Facebook, a thing will pop up so quick,
right,
right? But he
right.
literally said, I'm gonna shoot up a school. Like, how
And,
clear
and
can
like you
you
said,
be?
and broadcast it.
And broadcasted it on social media. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
If I say you're a dick, I'm telling you because I've commented and just like as kidding around, and it
right.
flagged me. But yet he got away and then shows up with these two. I mean, it wiles me out
That's
because
weird.
I think it
That's
goes back to
weird.
what you were saying the privilege and who was it? I forgot who what comedian said it, but one of the most powerful weapons that privilege gives you is the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
right? Oh, Tommy,
Mhm.
he's not upset. I mean, he just, he's just a little upset. I bet his grandmother thought he was okay right into that last second. You know what I mean? Like, thought he just likes shooting up kittens or whatever fuck he was probably doing. And whoop, 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 you know.
You're not
Um,
Right.
even safe being a family member. Like,
I'm just saying, like, the signs are clear as day as far as
yeah,
a lot
Right.
of these like psychopathic kids, but these kids get the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, we pay for it, right?
Yeah.
I bet
mhm.
I bet the parents of the kid who went to Buffalo and planned it out like he was a special ops, right?
Right.
Because that's basically what he did. Like if he was CIA, he went over to the community,
He wasn't
you know,
even being sneaky about it.
but I'm just saying he did the strategic moves as if, you
Right.
know, he was strategic. And I bet you his parents, up to that very moment, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. But yet
They
he
didn't
was
know what
probably
was in his bedroom or anything. I could not
exactly.
shut my bedroom door growing up. I better not touch
Man,
a bedroom door.
man,
Hmm.
And these kids now, it's my privacy. And get out of my
I'm gonna call the
room. And
cops on you.
da, da,
You
da, da,
touch me. They need a
Nah,
they need an elbow and a drop kick. That's why
that's the
WWE got
different
soft.
upbringing, though.
I
Yeah, no,
mean,
you're right.
also the laws kind of help it too, because you could say anything, and then everybody, gets
Has
gets put
something
in
to say about it.
handcuffs.
Yeah,
Like you can say, you can lie, you can straight up lie, and there's no. I mean, outside of men, you can lie, and then there's no repercussions for what you say. You can get people locked up. Um,
yeah. Shout out to Johnny Depp who just won his defamation lawsuit, but he has the
mm,
money and the power to fight it. And no, you're absolutely right. People could just say something because they
Yeah.
didn't
Uh-oh.
uh,
he froze.
little
Oh.
break right quick.
It says just me and you, Derek.
Okay. All right. Now, all right. Give me a second here. Okay. Do you guys just hang
It's
out?
a takeover.
Okay. According to the worldpopulationreview.com, the United States ranks number two for countries with the highest total gun deaths, which is all causes, in 2019 with 37,038 deaths, with Brazil at number one and Venezuela at number three for highest gun deaths. Gangs are much less of an issue in the United States, yet it is second only to Brazil in the list in total gun deaths. Many people understandably assume the high number of gun deaths in the US is due to mass shootings, which receive frequent attention in the media. In truth, mass shootings account for only a small percentage of gun deaths in the United States. Rather, nearly two-thirds, 63% of gun deaths in the U.S. in 2009 were suicide. Um,
Mm.
so what does that say about us? I ask you,
That we over
gentlemen,
over what's the
dramatized
word
like
I'm trying to, yeah, the fact of mass shootings or gun deaths or oh my god, it's the world's falling down because someone else bought another AR-15 when, like I said, the media sensationalizes those things by trying to scare us. There's
Mm.
another, and it's never good to have a mass shooting, but it's like, oh, here's another mass shooting, and oh my God, there's another AR-15 sold, the weapons of mass destruction, and we got to get them out of our stores and off our shelves, blah 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 blah. When, to be honest, there's probably more deaths. Well, it's not probably. There are more deaths by knife stabbing in the United States than there are guns. But nobody's trying to
Mm.
ban knives. No one's taking knives off the shelf. No one even mentions how many people per year get stabbed, who died from a stabbing death.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
take out all
according.
the guns, you take out all the
Hmm.
guns. I mean, people are gonna find ways to get you. Like Black Lives Matter protests that they had, they got people running people over with cars. So people are gonna find a way.
Oh, that's
But
true. Hmm.
nobody's trying to ban the car, are they?
No,
Hmm.
No
no,
more
no,
Ford.
not now
No
until you
more
have to
Ford
get to work.
Tauruses.
Well, I think it. To me, I think what a lot of this says about us, with especially with these statistics, is that the land of the free doesn't mean the land of the happy. If 63% of gun deaths total are from suicide, yeah, there definitely some broken hearts and some situations going on that we don't care to tackle. I think it's easier to tackle, as you said, making guns political, also politicizing mass gun deaths. I mean, these mass shootings, especially if it involves kids and innocent people, it's easier to sensationalize and wrap our heads around. Does that make sense? But dealing
Absolutely.
with that, you have mental issues that need um, serious treatment and funding for it. No one wants to hear all that, right? They don't want to hear that, like, hey, man, you're fucked up. And some people don't want to admit it anyway, right? Um,
Well, look
do
at
you think,
California. Reagan shut down all the mental institutions.
I'm just saying,
Hmm.
um, will things ever change, do you think, Derek?
Not unless there is a sharp uh change in philosophy, like as far as like people, like the way people think. Um, right now is about pretty much what somebody can tell you, whatever somebody tells you, that's what it is, instead of whatever you actually are going through uh, for yourself and thinking for yourself what's actually going on. Because like certain people are taking things, like you look at the music culture, um, and they're taking that, you know, with open hands. Like it's like there's nothing to question about it. So like as long as people are continuing down a path of just thinking about, hey, like I'm gonna let somebody else tell me how I feel about things. I'm gonna let somebody else tell me about how the world is gonna be. Um, I don't think we can get out of that. I mean, it's gonna there's gonna be a drop off somewhere, and it's gonna be it gets worse before it gets any better. That's for sure.
Yikes. That's definitely scary to hear that has to get
Mm.
worse, you know?
I mean, look
That
how
is
bad it is
difficult.
now.
No, you
Yeah.
no, you're right. I just hate to even think about worse. Now,
Mm.
Fred, with that said, um, so we have the NRA that obviously plays a major role on 40% of the country. And do you with that tight grip, political and social grip, do you think change is possible anytime or what?
I mean, all things are possible, uh, but as long as you have power hungry, evil, greedy, self centered people in office who wheels are being greased by powers that be, um, it's going to be hard to change. And it's it's I don't know what it was like for my great grandparents and my grandparents, but I've seen documentaries, I've heard stories, I was able to know my great grandparents and what they went through. And from listening, seeing, and reading, it seems like it's getting back to that time, if not worse. Um, and it may not be worse, it just may be more in your face due to social media, cell phones, everything is now and right in front of you instantly. But the hate is strong right now, and uh, people, they don't mind telling you get out of here, inward, or go back to wherever, or you know, this week alone, just watching some of my YouTube videos, you wouldn't believe how many times I heard "Get out of my country" and "Speak American." What the hell is "Speak American"? It's
Most
like
Americans can't speak American, whatever that is.
it's like you're so stupid that that's what you think it is. Speak American, and just that hate for a different race is what
And so
continues
passionate
to
about it
drive,
too. Some of them
right,
are so
continues to
passionate.
drive this type of thing. The last few shootings have been basically nothing but hate. It's hate, and it's not hate for somebody you know. It's hate from a race, and it all started with 45. 45 empowered. You know, it wasn't even a dog whistle. It was, hey fellas, don your sheets. We're back, and until that gets changed or squashed or nipped in the butt somehow, it's it's going, like you said, Derek said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And
Y-
I would hate to
Yikes.
have a civil war here, but it's it's pretty bad.
Well, those are some pretty sad outlooks, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Okay, so uh all right, okay. Can we look at the politicians to protect us?
Hell
Absolutely
no.
not.
I had to write that down, okay?
Absolutely not.
On
We,
both
we,
uh,
sides?
we can't we
On
can't
both
look at the
sides?
corner police officer to help us. So how is that somebody sitting in Washington to help us, or Sacramento?
No, you have a point. I'll give you that. I mean, if the police are afraid to go up against this 18-year-old with a rifle and they're trained, that was a
Right,
SWAT
with
team,
training.
might I add. That was a
That was
SWAT team.
matter of fact. They said three SWAT teams showed up, and the Uvalde police would not allow them to go in. And
Oh,
with so the way it works, the local police
has
department
jurisdiction.
has to invite the
Oh,
federal department to come in to, especially if it's not a federal crime.
so their
So
local
hmm.
hate for the feds blinded
heck,
them so damn much.
there you go. They said the border patrol were the first ones to get there. They told them no. Then the FBI got there, and they told them no. And then the ATF got there. So there were three units of guys ready to go in, but they were holding back and setting up a perimeter.
While he was shooting up the kids. Can you believe that?
And then I found out too, they just said something like within the last 30 days, they had active shooter training. And this is what they did. And people were talking about, well, I'd sue the hell out of them. Like, who are you going to sue? You're suing yourself.
Yeah.
No,
It's your own
that was
tax money.
yeah. That's why at the beginning of the conversation I said these folks voted for these people. They voted to have their city run in this particular way to prioritize the spending where 40% of the entire budget goes towards these fools that can't go up against the 18-year-old with zero firing experience. Like this, it boggles my mind. We
They
should have
take
gotten
him.
we should have gotten Samuel L. Jackson and his SWAT team squashed it in 2 seconds.
Well, the people from the funeral home were going to go in, and they stopped them. They were the first ones to engage with the kid. They were the first ones to return fire. There was a funeral
That's
home
what I was
across the
thinking.
street.
I didn't even
That's what I
think
was
about
thinking.
that.
Like, there's a lot of there's like when is it gonna be talk about us being able to protect ourselves because there's a lot of stigma about people having it, like weapons and whatnot. If there's not going to be cops when things happen,
Oh,
there's a
hell
lot
no.
of states. There's a lot of
Hmm.
states that doesn't have gun control, like open carry. We like, how can we actually protect ourselves? When are they going to put uh, police in schools, like not just for kids, but just for just protection?
Well, I
Your
mean,
family can't
So,
protect you in school.
so what are you gonna do? Make a school a mini jail now with police?
if you're a white straight heterosexual Christian male, that's the juice right now. They want to
Mm.
stand out there with the bravado. Yeah, I already saw the pictures. They're just standing there, you know,
You're frozen.
This
literally
rose.
post outside in the vision that they see themselves every day,
Mm.
patrolling everybody. Mr. Sheriff, I should be telling you what you should not be doing. Like it's their whole shit. They're allowed to do outside of their own mind. And I'll be quite honest, like me. Quite here. Let me show you this. I'm a proud member of this right here. Okay. Um. Bam. Okay. Uh. You can't see it. That sucks. But it's the National African American Gun Association. If you
Mm.
guys know about it. So I've been a member with them for 2 years. Because if I'm going to support, I mean, I do believe in the Second Amendment. But I'm gonna support an organization that supports us. Okay, that lobbies for
Mm.
us, and our particular experience is much different. You know, supporting the Second Amendment versus someone with privilege is all I have to say. You know, because look at Texas. Texas, Greg Abbott passed a law where in which you don't need a permit or a license or anything to carry a loaded weapon in the entire
Same thing in
state.
Atlanta. Also, I'm sorry, Atlanta, Georgia. Also,
I
Mm.
mean, can we just ask for why we shouldn't even be asking why we shoot each other? It's just more like when is it gonna happen? Is it Thursday or Friday? Which way? Pick a date, and we should just be more organized about it, maybe. But it's downright ridiculous. I think. Call me crazy. I know some people may say something, but we don't really have a. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's so sensationalized, but I'm like, damn, Americans can't really be trusted a whole lot with some of these weapons. Not a lot of us. I don't think it should be so blatantly available to every single person. I think that's a little scary because then this sort of thing gives him the exact legal access to weaponize his anger and take it out. You
I
know,
mean, they print
and
things that you need. You can 3D
oh yeah, you can
print
print it too. Yeah,
parts that you need without having the serial number on it. They call it ghost weapons or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like
You're
that.
right?
right.
Ghost
You're right.
Ghost
guns.
gun.
So
I don't, I
like
don't, I
it
don't
doesn't
trust
matter.
America. I don't trust Americans with their responsibility because we go way over here, way off the deep end, real fucking quick. Because
Mm.
they used to blame it on games and music and whatnot, but all the other countries listen to our game music and play our games, and they're not doing the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out why. It's clearly an American thing. It's clearly an American thing. Let's be honest. This
Well, like
experience
you
is
said,
so
Brazil
American.
and Venezuela are also. So it's not
Well,
purely an
I
American
mean, our
thing. It's
country's a little better in terms of economic and etc. But
right.
they're what more third world or close to, and they have oil, right?
Mm.
But outside of that, they'd be destitute, and we should know better with the access of power, money, um, intelligence, etc. We should just function a little bit better than Venezuela, right? Can we agree on that? But
Oh,
yet
absolutely.
we're right there with Brazil and Venezuela. I mean, that doesn't say a whole lot for us, right? Um, is mental illness to blame? Let's just get that out. Let's just put that out there. It does because we hear it a lot, especially now. The Republicans, that's their go-to right now. Oh, it's mental illness. Let's fund more mental illness, gentlemen.
For the last few, I would say absolutely not. And I think more of mental illness crimes to me are more personal more up close, I would say. Uh, Not something. And when I say up close and personal, I mean like actually hands on. With the person.
Yeah, like the
Um,
Hernandez brothers. Remember them? They killed the parents.
Mm.
right, but I'm talking more of a stabbing or
Oh,
strangulation or
okay.
something like that. I think is more um, of a mental illness type of thing. It doesn't take anything for, like you said, for you to stand 40 yards away and shoot somebody. There's no uh,
No connection. It's very
right. There's
disconnected.
no connection into so, and like I said, when you can go to the store, buy it, plan it, put it on social media, all that. There's no mental illness part to that. When you can have your mom grab you up and take you to another county, another state, so that you can, protest and help the police
With a
at
with a
16.
with a loaded weapon.
You know, there's no mental illness in that. When you walk into the church and you pray with people and you look them in the eye and you talk to them, and then you have on your Hitler patches and your Confederate flag and all that, and then you go shoot all the black people. There's no mental illness in that. That's just pure hate, and
Conditioning.
you got to call it. Yeah, you got to call it. It's initiation
Hmm.
into the the powers that be. That's all it is. And a lot of times when, never mind, shut up.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah,
you.
I'm about to get in trouble with that one. But when you see things that look like a duck, trust it's a duck. When you think that's the reason why something happened, 95% of the time, that is the reason why it happened. It was no mistake. It was no mistake that there's so many black killings, there's so many Hispanic killings, or I should say minority killings in the hands of the powers to be. Those aren't mistakes,
I
you know.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay. I
You're
think you're
frozen, but
absolutely
I can
right.
hear you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what's going on with my video, but that's cool.
Even
I'm
even in the
recording.
even in the Buffalo shooting, when
Yeah.
he was shooting and he shot at the white guy laying by the cash register there on the floor, he even said, "Oops, I'm sorry,"
Wow.
and continued his
His
rampage
journey,
through
yeah.
there.
Wow.
He said, "Oops, I'm sorry." So that's total conditioning of hate. He knew exactly what he was doing because when he shot the white guy, it was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
Yeah, he knew who his
And his
intended
targets
target
were
was.
right.
Mhm.
So to start, like you said, that whole narrative of mental health and blah 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 blah, that's when you already know that they're setting up for the out to get him off. And these people that have started these GoFundmes and they have million
Uh-huh.
dollars already. I'm like, how can this happen? But those are the rest of the people that believe and hate also. Those are the people that continue to give these monies to help get these guys out of, did a good job. Thank you. We didn't have to do it. Thank you.
That
Here's fifty
Yeah.
thousand
Keep
dollars.
certain people in the office.
Yeah. Here's
and I
fifty
think
Hmm.
thousand dollars.
it's the same people that support who was it that shot come on, Trayvon Martin, and
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
they he
Same
auctioned
group
off
of
the
people.
gun and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, this is the same kind of
Signing
privilege and
signing
protection.
bags of Skittles and stuff like
Yep.
that. I mean, pure hate to continue all these years. That's how you're making your living. Showing up, signing bags of Skittles and going to police departments and receiving. what police department is receiving you, man, and doing stuff like that? That's why I said it's not coincidence that these things happen.
And it's no coincidence that they never get shot.
Right.
When they're literally caught red-handed with the gun in their hand, they somehow make it to the police department alive. So it's quite astounding.
You know,
You know, it
And they get
really
their
is.
moments of fame.
They get their moments of fame. And remember the one at the church, they brought him Burger King.
right. They
I mean,
stopped at
the
Burger King.
audacity.
They
I
stopped
mean,
at Burger King on the way to the jail.
I mean, help me out, Fred. Does that ever, like, how the fuck does that happen? How do you get that kind of
And
treatment?
that happens in a department that has less than 25 officers. That's the only way something like that happens. There's absolutely no way. Even if I was hungry and I wanted to stop before I got back to the station because I know it's about to be a long night. I'm not going to go home. That is uncalled for. There's no way I could do that. You don't do nothing like that.
It just trips me out when I hear that, and then you hear a block of people mad that I'm mad about that. You know what I mean? And they're like, "What's wrong with that?" And mental illness, and he needs a hug, and he looks like one of my sons. That's basically what they're saying.
That's
Um,
messed up because when they bring them in for questioning, you won't you lose your leverage. You lose every bit of leverage that person's going to tell you everything that you want to you need to hear instead of they're going to tell you what you want to hear.
They
yeah,
It's like,
they
oh yeah, he's going
already
to get me
know.
anything you want, anything I want, they're going to get it for me.
They already
that's
knew the story. That's why they good job. Here you go. Here's your Burger King.
well. What do you think is the long term mental effect on us as American citizens? Like, what do you think is the long term effect of all this?
I don't think, as far as government goes, I don't think they care. As far as protecting our families and ourselves, um, you have to stay grounded. And for me, it's staying grounded in Bible and going to
Hmm.
church and being around my church family and those that love me and stuff like that. It's you can't be of the world and participate in those worldly things and then expect a godly blessing or an outcome. And being a Christian, if you are a Christian, for me, as my shirt says, I'm saved, but I still got them hands. you know, I'm saved, but I'm not gonna let anybody take advantage of me. And if it's my time to go, I know where I'm going. So
Hmm.
um, I have to rest assured knowing that I'm only here for a certain amount of time, and if it's my time to go, and God sees fit that uh, I'm involved in something, and my life is taken away, then I've served my life here, and uh, it's sad to say, and it's hard to say, but that's the circle of life, and for those cops to not go in and do their job with those kids makes me believe they have one, no heart, they have no conviction, they have no backbone, they have no integrity. I can just go on and on and on about all those cowards that were at that school that day. Cowards. And they're not worthy of that uniform or badge. Don't play Billy Badass Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursdays is a shooting. You got to take the day off because you don't want to. You got to go home at the end of the day. That's not what you. It's not what you swore an oath to. That's not what you signed up for. Do your job.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just funny that they were taking all the fancy pictures of all their new fancy toys and everything, and
you know,
it's yeah, it was ludicrous. And Derek, question
Yeah.
to you about a long
Okay.
term mental effect as far as as a people, as we're witnessing this, and some people unfortunately experiencing this. What do
Mhm.
you think about the long term mental effect this has on us?
Um, I think I'm kind of going off of what he said. It's like you just gotta, you can't let that stuff stop you from doing anything that for fulfilling your purpose. Like they can put all this stuff on online on media and everything like that to keep people stay at bay and keep them inside. But like at the end of the day, the only way America is running is if we continue our purpose and continue to be good to each other. For those who are out here serving God's will. You can't really like as individuals. The only way we can do is just kind of influence the people that are around us, and then make sure that they okay. Um, as far as everybody else, it's kind of like, hey, like I have to take a chance to go out there. Like we got to go out to events, as photographers, as business owners. You have to go out and meet people and talk to people. So as far as like mental health and whatnot, I'm not even qualified to even diagnose anybody. But I would hope that there's people out there that are working hard to try to figure that out, because um, the way things are looking right now, I don't know, man. It's That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think that the long term effect is being played out right now. Like, if we really just take a self analysis as a whole, like when we hear about mass shootings, first, we're like, it's another one. Secondly, as soon as the next one happens, we're on to that one. And we forgot
Mm.
about the impact, the lives lost, etc., that the other one. So we constantly are like being bombarded by notifications of these instances, but at the same time, it's desensitizing our emotions. And I can't say that's really normal, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're seeing it slowly being played out now. Um, is this the price we pay for the American dream?
For some people, it is.
I mean, all
Some
this
people, it is.
violence. I mean, just
But
these
I would say,
reported
like,
hate, everything. Like, is this the price we pay
I
for?
think people need to figure out how to heal, even things that they don't believe that is an issue for them, to kind of just figure out what that actually means for them, like what does that mean for me to actually see and hear that? Is it desensitizing me, or is it something that I can look further and deeper in to see what I can do in my life to make sure the people around me are safe, or are feeling, you know, a certain type of way um, about certain issues. Because then you can go off on a tangent, like everybody can feel mad and upset, and then all of a sudden there's like all kinds of stuff going on. So uh, I think people just trying to stay grounded within themselves and within their community and close friends, and um, just try to figure that out, what it actually means to actually hear that kind of stuff and then move forward.
Uh, Fred, do you have any particular on that one? Is this the price we pay ultimately for the American dream?
it's the only dream that I know, so I don't know any other dream. But this one said,
All right, brother. That's
I guess this is the price, and uh, it's. I mean,
we want freedom,
it,
right? We
right?
demand freedom.
Then
It's in
you
our
know you
DNA,
can't.
but then freedom has a consequence.
It does have a consequence, and I don't want them to start playing with the Constitution because
Mm.
once that can of worms get opened up, it'll be opened up to no more democracy. It's going to be a dictatorship at that point. So,
Real quick.
uh,
Real quick.
yeah, so we have to work within the four corners of that Constitution, the way it's written. Uh, Hopefully, we can get people into office that respect and that will honor it and that will, do something about it because like I said, if we get the right people in play, we can start making a change, even with, our military, all the way down to, the local police departments, because they'll have to fall in line. You start arresting these guys, you start putting them behind bars for the things that you put us behind bars for, things will start to change after that. You start taking away this qualified immunity and stuff, things will change. People will start to gain trust back. Uh, People will do the job that they're supposed to be doing, and there will be a change. But until there's a change from the top, and there's someone responsible from the top,
That's accountable.
you have to take care of yourself. You got to fend for yourself, and if that means 2A is how I'm taking care of myself and my family, then that's what I got to do. I can't count on nobody else.
There you go. Cold blooded and real.
Mhm.
No, but I get it. I understand what
Save
you
what I
mean,
got
man.
them hands.
I hear you. And Derek, any last thing to say on that? No, I guess you said a lot, right? Or anything you want to add to?
I'm just thinking. I mean, everybody has. You think about people up in power. Uh, they're spreading out the different kind of agendas that people have in general. There's all kinds of different things that are thrown in there, and then there's the people that don't even that think the Constitution is out of date. They got people out there that think that it should be changed. Um, but like, there's so many different agendas out there as far as like what people want, and then to get over power. I just don't see there's a lot of people out there that would stick by uh their own principles um when they get into office. I mean, they'll bend and do all kinds of different things just to get into office, and then they reveal what they were actually there for after the fact. And that's kind of like a bad date.
Yeah,
It's like a bad date. He's like, oh yeah, this person is cool. All of a sudden, all like they reveal themselves.
switch
It's
up.
like, dang, like, who did I vote in here? Who did I let in my
Who I sign up
space?
for? Yep.
I
Yeah.
think we find that out a lot with our politicians. So with that said, we have finally come to the end of all this madness.
Hmm.
And I'm proud of you both for sticking it out and sharing your opinions and whatnot.
Glad to be here.
Before I
Yep.
close out, um, how can folks get in touch with y'all, man? What's your Instagram handles, Derek or
FDJ
Fred?
Photography
Okay, on
Oh,
Instagram,
you can
right?
reach.
on Instagram.
There you go, Derek.
Yeah, you can reach me at Derek Benton Photography on Instagram. I'm still building my website, so um, don't don't beat me up for it. But Instagram is definitely how you're gonna find me, and you can find me on LinkedIn too as well, Derek Benton Photography.
Okay, awesome. And of course, everyone, real If you have a topic, comment, or opinion you think is worth discussing, please send me a message to amicrazy247@gmail.com. That's crazy with a K. I'm your host, Robert Silver, asking a question each episode. Am I crazy? Thank you for listening. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much.